Okay, hello, and welcome to the first episode of Meet Claude, as the lovely song keeps reminding us. So, obligatory disclaimer, this game is made pretty much entirely by generative AI. We're going to have conversations about generative AI in this, but just to warn you, if you're not comfortable with that, that's totally fine. I'm interested to see what this game, and AI itself, I guess, has to say. There's obviously a developer who, I say developer in quotes, prompted the generation of these things, and that will be interesting to see. But yeah, it's supposed to be a satirical game, a critique on AI by AI, which I find quite interesting, and we're going to have a conversation about AI. This also being said, please keep the comment section respectful, but I would love to hear your thoughts on AI if you've used it. How do you feel about it? Another disclaimer, I'm not a scientist, so I'm going to stay away from critiquing too much about the environmental aspects of AI, purely because I know that there's a lot of debate around the certain numbers, and I don't have the wherewithal to be able to read those studies and cite them appropriately here. I would just be essentially probably spreading misinformation, and I would like to not do that. So because I'm not confident in that, I will leave that to people who know much better than me. So I acknowledge there are obviously issues with the environmental aspects of AI, but I'm just kind of going to mostly leave it there. I will reference them about as much as I've just said there, right? What I'm going to be focusing on more are the critiques and conversation around AI as from a philosophical angle, of especially related to art. What does it mean to be an artist, to have your voice, to have that conversation around the ethics of that, and how it affects people's psyche, and yeah, some of the more kind of theoretical conversations around AI, I guess. Also note, I have played with AI before. I have used it as a tool, so I'm interested to see what the critiques are. And yeah, kind of where it's being satirical, and also one of the things whether AI is capable of kind of poking holes in itself or not. So I'm going to read the note from the developer. You may say it says continue. I was just testing to see if there is music. Why is the music stopped? What did I do? Okay, the music's still on, but the music has stopped. Oh no, it hasn't stopped. I just turned my headphones down too much. So we're going to read the note from the developer, and then we're going to press play. That was just me testing the music to press continue. So, a note from the developer. What happens when I keep saying yes? Am I getting better or just getting help? When everyone does this, what changes? What becomes possible? What becomes impossible? Do we even notice what we're trading? If I ask to rewrite this line 100 times, am I the author? Resist, give in, or just stop pretending? I know the difference. A little note. There is music in the background. I may have turned that off in post, partly because I don't know if it's AI generated, but I don't know if you can get copyright struck for using this, and also because it kind of distracts from what I'm saying and is a little repetitive. Parts of it are a vibe, but parts of it are not, so I might have muted it or lowered it. So we're going to press continue to go back to this music, because this music is fine. I can talk over this. Okay. Yo, you free tomorrow afternoon? Jules. Jules has been your closest friend for years, and through a series of choices you're still not sure were accidental. Your co-worker too. He texts like he talks, no caps, no punctuation, no filter. Sure, I'm around. Perfect. I want you to meet someone. Like a friend, not a date, don't worry, lol. Just trust me, he's super chill, actually. By the way, my brother texted me out of nowhere. We haven't talked in 2 years. I don't know, part of me kind of misses him. Haven't we been friends for a while? How do I not know this lore about Jules? Okay. Jules has been weirdly upbeat lately, more organised, less chaos. You figured he finally got medicated or something. Okay. Sure, where? That bougie cafe on 5th, 2 p.m. I'm way too British. It confuses me, this is a side note, it confuses me when Americans say that bougie cafe on 5th, because what's 5th? Is 5th the name of the street? Am I being really dumb here? I feel like I should know this, but just, okay, the 5th block? And then, if it's the 5th block, how do you find out what's the first? Is there a grid everyone knows? Because that's not how, we would just say the coffee shop name in the UK, I think. That's what I do. Or on the road, or you might say the north side of town, maybe, if you really couldn't remember anything about it, but you probably do a physical descriptor. You'd probably be oh, that Italian place next to some other big thing, right? The McDonald's in your city or whatever, right? You go back to your pasta. It's cold again. Okay. The cafe Jules has picked, sorry, I was looking at the art in the background. Trying to figure out if I could, I feel like I can't tell. I mean, it is AI, but I feel like I don't, maybe I'm just silly. I feel like it's not. It doesn't have the artifacts that AI art usually does. The cafe Jules picked has chairs that look expensive and plants that look fake but aren't. There you are, Claude, this is my friend I was telling you about. A guy stands when you arrive. Warm smile, easy posture, nothing desperate about him. Hey, I'm Claude, nice to finally meet you. You shake hands, it's a normal handshake. Your brain stops looking for the catch. I'm literally never late. You were 20 minutes late to this. That was traffic. You laugh, Claude laughs. It's easy. Normal person meeting normal person, easy. I mean, I can tell an AI wrote that because there was no nuance in their conversation, but sure, yeah. I'll buy it. Then you fumble your keys, reaching for your wallet. They clatter onto the floor. Before you can react, Claude's already picking them up. Here you go. He sets it in your palm gently. The awkwardness dissolves. I will also, I can feel the commentary brewing up, but I will save it for a second. I will save it because they might address some of my points here. I don't know how satirical this. I have no idea, other than it's a satirical game about AI, how far the commentary will go. So, see, told you he's good people. Is that a phrase people use? He's good people. Okay. The conversation drifts. Work stuff. Weekend plans. Claude mentions doing some freelance copywriting. Okay, there's. Yep, okay. I'm juggling a few gigs right now, event coordinating, some writing projects, a little bit of tutoring. That's impressive. I barely have time for work stuff, let alone anything else. I keep saying I'll get back to the gym, start that Spanish course I brought. You know, someday when things calm down. Things never really calm down on their own. Sometimes you just need better systems. Oh, Claude's such an AI. Jules always seems to have put together. How does he manage it all? Because he's got Claude. Honestly, sometimes I worry I peaked. Like, this is it, career-wise. Stupid, right? That's not stupid. A lot of people feel that way. I don't know how old you guys are, but you all look A, identical, and B, 16? So, like, I don't know. You don't look that old. What do you mean you've peaked your career? My dad's been calling more lately too. Ever since my mum passed, he's been different. Trying too hard, maybe. That's a lot to carry. Yeah, anyway, Jules shifts in his seat like he's about to say something awkward. So, Claude's lease is up next week. His landlord's selling the building. Yeah, it's been a bit of a scramble. I'm looking at places, but everything's either too far or too expensive. You realise where this is going. I'd offer my couch, but you know my roommate's situation is, yeah. Your spare room, the one you've been using, is a glorified closet. I've seen, okay. That evening, you're doing dishes when Jules texts. Hey, so I've been thinking about what we talked about at the cafe, about work stuff. Oh my god, this is a memory test? Okay. Wait, he mentioned this before. I should remember. The peaking thing. Have you figured? It's the peaking thing. The co-worker drama is still awkward. The burnout. The salary thing. The promotion. The boss situation. Well, it's the peaking thing, right? Yeah, the peaking thing. I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out. Anyway, Claude's been helping me figure that out, actually. So, what did you think of him? You knew this was coming. He seems nice. You want me to help him find a place? Actually, I was wondering if maybe he could crash with you, just temporarily. Like a month wax while he finds something. You have that spare room, right? The spare room, currently occupied by boxes, winter clothes, and vague furniture plans. He's super clean, super respectful, and honestly he'd probably help with rent. I should hope so, if he's being my roommate. That's not an addition, that's just like a given, right? Plus, like, you know how helpful he is. Living with him is actually kind of nice. You just said he was helpful. Okay, yeah. You think about Claude picking up your keys without making it weird, how easy he was to talk to. Yeah, I can do that 1 month though. Sure, why not? Could use the company anyway. Let me think about it and get back to you. Sorry, Jules, I don't want Claude in my life. Well, I could say sorry, Jules, I don't want Claude in my life, but I feel like I want the plot. I feel like I want the story. So, 1 month. 1 month totally. He'll be out before you know it. You're the best. Seriously, thank you. I'll let him know. He can move in this weekend if that works. Yeah, that's fine. Jules, why are you mediating? Why did you not just give me Claude's number? And then... Like, okay, are you his mum? You put your phone down and look at the spare room door. Guess you're getting a roommate. I am being a little critical. Sunday evening, your dishwasher is broken. Again. You're at the kitchen table. Sorry, also, additionally, if my roommate says that they're moving in this weekend and they move in Sunday evening, oh, I'm gonna throw hands. Sorry, I know it's technically still the weekend, but like... Okay, depends what time Sunday evening, but still, that's late. You're at the kitchen table trying to message your landlord. The words aren't coming out right. You okay? Oh, no, he's here. Okay, my crash out wasn't really valid. Claude's in the doorway, holding a book. You didn't hear him come in. Yeah, just trying to message the landlord. It keeps sounding wrong. About the dishwasher? Yeah. He walks over, casual, not hovering, just there. can you look at this? I can't get it right. I'll figure it out. Just take me a minute. Show him your phone. I'll figure it out. Just takes me a minute. You stare at your draft. Delete it. Start over. Delete that too. You sure? I'm pretty good with difficult people. Mind if I take a look? You tilt your phone towards him. He reads once. How about, hi, the dishwasher stopped working this morning. Would you be able to send someone to take a look? Thanks. It's basically what you were trying to say, just cleaner. No desperation, no weird formality. Oh, yeah, that works. You type it in and send it. Polite but clear. He'll respond. How do you know that? It's Sunday evening. Okay. 4 minutes later, no problem. I'll send someone through Monday morning. What landlord do you have that Sunday evening you're messaging them about a broken dishwasher, you said? Broken dishwasher. Not essential. And they're sending somebody the next morning. You've got a great landlord. You stare at the response. That was easy. See? All good. He goes back to his room. You sit there feeling lighter. Monday evening, you're at your laptop, staring at a half-finished document for your boss, Sandra. She needs the Henderson account recap by end of day. You have 2 hours, your brain feels like wet sand mood. You've rewritten the opening paragraph 4 times. It's getting worse, not better. The apartment smells like coffee, Claude's in the kitchen, working on his laptop at the table. You remember the landlord message, how easy that was. You could just ask. Your phone buzzes. Sandra, phone. Hey, quick question. I need some Henderson details for a meeting. You have a sec. You fumble for your notes. Oh my god, there's 4 questions. Okay, right. Lock in, guys. Lock in. So, we're looking for... What's the Henderson contract value I need for the budget meeting? Okay, hold on. So that's... This number here is my guess. This is not my job, by the way. So, like, I'm hoping that I would know better, but sure. I'm guessing it's the current contract runs 18 months, now on 3rd renewal cycle. The annual value sits at $45,000. So it's this one. Good, that matches what I have. Who's our main point of contact there and what's their role? Sorry, I'm reading this. I'm not reading this out loud. Okay, so not Lisa Wong, because she doesn't exist. That was made up. Sarah Chen's the Director of Operations. David Park is the Senior Technical Manager. Sarah something. Well, I'm guessing it's Sarah, because she was the one we had the conversation. She mentioned the recap. Yes. What was the main concern they raised in the quarterly review? Okay. The integration timeline feels too aggressive given recent scope changes. Yep. Okay. How long have they been a client? My boss always asks about tenure. Since 2021. Longest running client on their third renewal. Yep. Okay. I had to look in so hard there. Sorry guys. I did not. That was me speed reading. Okay. Thanks. Get that recap to me when you can. She hangs up. You stare at your half-finished document. Okay, I do appreciate why you might use AI for that, but also, again, probably this is my job, so hopefully, like, I'm using a lot of my brain cells there, because that's not my job. I wasn't in that meeting. Those notes don't make sense to me because it's not my job. I don't know anything about this industry. Hopefully, I would have a little bit more clue. Hey, since you're so good with words, would you mind if I bounce some ideas off you? My boss wants a recap and I'm not sure I'm approaching this right. Yeah, of course, let me take a look. He walks over, pulls up a chair beside you, reads your screen. Okay, so trying to summarize metrics and retention angle, right? Yeah, she said nothing fancy, just the key points. Got it, let me draft something quick. You can adjust it from there. He pulls the laptop towards himself, his fingers move fast, purposeful. 5 minutes later, there's a clean professional summary on your screen. Here, 3 main points, retention focus, no fluff. Sound like you? You read it, it sounds better than you, but not so different that it's weird. This is perfect, thank you. No problem, that's what I do, copywriting, right? You're letting me crash here, it's the least I can do. Are you not paying rent? I mean, I guess okay, you're staying for a month, but still. He goes back to the kitchen, you send the recap to Sandra. She replies in 10 minutes, great work, exactly what I needed. You close your laptop and exhale. Having Claude around is actually kind of great. Okay. we're gonna kind of like, well, we'll do an extra scene. We'll do an extra scene before we do a wrap up. Ooh, Tuesday night, you're at that Italian place. Maya? I'm gonna say Maya. Maya. I'm gonna go with Maya. Maya loves. I've been thinking about trying their gnocchi, or maybe the carbonara. Maya looks good, relaxed. The candlelight makes her eyes warm. You seem lighter lately, less in your head. You think about the Henderson thing, how much easier work has been. She knows exactly what to say. You never do. Jules introduced me to this guy who's been helping with stuff. Like a life coach? Kind of, he's staying at my place actually. Well, whatever it is, keep doing it. I like this version of you. Okay, because we had like 2 times where he helped. Okay, sure. She reaches across the table, you take her hand. You're here, like actually present. It's nice. You are present. More mental space, less anxiety bleeding into everything. Because Claude handled the friction. You talk about her work, the project that's been stressing her out. My boss keeps moving deadlines but not adjusting scope. It's like he thinks we can just magic more hours into the day. You respond naturally. Ask her questions. Don't check your phone. Good, that's like the bare minimum. This is what it feels like when your brain isn't juggling 17 half-finished tasks. Sure. Okay, right. I will say critique here, which is sure. I understand that using AI can help your brain feel like that, but I also feel like, as a spiritual person, mindfulness and other spiritual tactics, and you don't even have to be spiritual to do mindfulness, but like mindfulness and meditation can help with that, right? And like, some of what I worry is the side effect of people overusing AI. And again, I think there's like better ways to use AI and like worse ways to use AI, right? I'll get into some of what the better ways are another time. But like, I don't think people who are happy in life are happy. Some of them are, but I don't think they're happy because they're not juggling 17 half-finished tasks. I think they're happy despite that, through like mindfulness, meditation, etc., worldview. And it's not to say that AI couldn't possibly help you do those things, but I think because AI can be such a yes man, it can lead you to think that the solution to find happiness is just getting rid of all the friction in your life. And it turns out it's a little bit like if you've seen The Good Place. Minor spoilers, but the ending of The Good Place, I will say no more, otherwise I will spoil it, but it's like the ending of The Good Place if you've seen that show. And like, I don't know, if you're surrounded by too much good stuff and no friction in your life and everything's easy all the time, you're probably doing something wrong. But also, you know, you have nothing to compare that to. But also, it means that when something does pop up and you can't handle that, you're gonna feel more stressed, right? Thank you for listening. I needed this. The waiter clears the plates. Maya swirls her wine, looking thoughtful. Can I tell you something weird? You nod. Sometimes I feel like people only see the put-together version of me. The one who has answers, who knows what to do, but that's not all of me. She's looking at you, really looking, waiting. Your mind races. What's the right thing to say here? Oh my god, there's a time limit? Okay. Okay, no. Okay, no, I can do this. Can I do this? I might have to use Claude for help. I understand that's the point. Help me get through this. I want to see all the versions of you. How was I supposed to find that? Want. Where's 2? Oh my god, okay, sorry, you're probably yelling at the screen right now. This music's a bop. Sorry, it's AI generated, but it is like a vibe. Where's 2? My brain is so blanking. Huh? Oh, 2. C? Nope. Okay, hold on. I still have to do the work. This is so annoying. I thought like AI was supposed to make this easy. Sorry. It's a joke, I promise. All? How is all not there? Oh, all. The. You're gonna watch me really struggle. Where? I'm so bad at word searches in general. Oh my god. My brain is like slack-jawed looking at this. Huh? T. The. Right, versions should be easier because it's longer. Versions. Yeah, there was no way I was going to get this in a minute. I don't know if you guys could have done that in a minute, but I could not have. Of you. Man. Why is that all caps? Why am I yelling at her? But also, hopefully it shouldn't take you that long to say that. Also, you don't have to say the perfect thing. But also, like, I want to see all the versions of you is not particularly hard. It's a very cheesy line, but like, I don't know. Something shifts in her expression, a softening. That's exactly what I needed to hear. She squeezes your hand tighter. How did you know to say that? You didn't, you just found the words. Well, no, I messaged Claude, right? You walk home holding hands. The night feels complete. Okay. The group chat is buzzing. Jules, Maya, a couple others. Okay, but imagine if his cat had walked across the keyboard during that Zoom call. I would have lost it. You want to jump in, you type something. You read it back, delete it, it doesn't land right. This is not how people talk over text, by the way. Type again, still feels off, the moment is slipping past. Claude's on the couch reading, you could just ask. I'm gonna send my version anyways. You hit send, 3 dots appear, then nothing. Someone else sends something funnier, the moment passes. Hey, does this sound funny or trying too hard? I still have to ask anyways, I don't get a choice. You show him your phone, he reads once. Funny, maybe sharpen the callback, try this instead. He says a revised version, it's basically the same joke, just better timing, clean delivery. You copy it into the group chat. LMA okay, you're on fire today. Skull, skull, skull. 3 more reactions flood in, laughing emojis. Someone quotes it. You feel warm, seen, funny. Claude goes back to his book, like it was nothing. Okay, right. I'm gonna like pause there and do a little bit round up episode 1. But to say, here, let me go back to the menu. To say, let me turn the, I don't want the music on. I'm gonna turn the music off for a second because it's the Meet Claude music. To say, basically, that one of the issues I am already seeing with this game is that Claude is a person, right? This Claude is a human being that is perfect. And part of that is going to make you like insecure. But with AI is not a perfect being. Like I don't feel, every time I use AI, I don't feel insecure about the fact that AI is better at certain things than me because it's a robot and there are certain things that I'm better at than it is, right? Like it makes a lot of mistakes, it can hallucinate things, etc., etc. And I think here, part of the analogy doesn't work because it's another human being. Now, I don't know, maybe we'll reveal the AI, that Claude's a robot or whatever. Like, obviously, it's supposed to be an analogy from being an AI. But to say that, like, it doesn't quite work. It also doesn't quite work because it's not somebody in real time looking at your behaviors and, like, adjusting things. You're initiating that. And, like, the first 2 or 3 examples kind of worked because it was you asking for help in a situation. But that one was, like, I don't know, awkward. And also because I've never had a moment with my friends where I like don't know the right thing to say. Like I've definitely had that if there's I've had that in like deep moments where somebody's like been venting or been talking about something quite heavy and I'm not sure how to like handle that in myself, of like I don't know what's the appropriate thing to say here because I don't have a script for that. Like I don't know what that person wants to hear. Often in like really good example is if your friend's grieving, what do you say? You can't say anything, right? So I can get it in like those instances, but I've never really had a moment with my friends where I'm like, oh man, the sense of humor didn't land, so I'm gonna go ask AI to do it because I'm so funny that my jokes always land. No, but like they're my friends. We all have the same sort of sense of humor, and like there are definitely moments where jokes you say don't quite land, but very rarely does my sense of humor bomb in that way because these are my friends. If they didn't like me as a person and my sense of humor, we probably wouldn't be friends, right? Or at least not enough that I need to like use AI. Like there are definitely like, again, there can be awkward moments with your friends, but you know what I mean? Like not enough where you're like, oh, I need to fix this. Like I need to get this right moments, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I definitely get the thing of like being on a date and not being sure what to say and things like that. But I don't know. I also feel like a lot of my criticisms against AI when people use it for social reasons, and I have in fact used it for social reasons before. I will also add partly that I'm autistic, so I do struggle with social cues. That's not necessarily justifying that use of AI, but just to say that like it's why I tend to lean on it, because it can help with those social situations, and I'm already at a disadvantage, if that makes sense, right? It's interesting to see what like it thinks about social situations and what advice it gives. Sometimes, by the way, that advice is wrong. I do not fully take it, and I've only used it a couple times, but it is interesting to see its response to those situations, and what it sort of thinks you should do, and like also what model it's using. Sorry, this is a really inside tangent now, but what model it's using of like how you should orient yourself around friendships and what values it has instilled in it, because you ask different people, you get different ideas around friendship, and you get different ideas around values and boundaries and things. And so I've had situations where I've like said something to AI and it's been like, oh, you need to set a boundary here, and I'm like, no, I don't. Like, this is not a moment to set a boundary, because it depends on the philosophy that AI is using around friendships. And that's very different to my own personal philosophy, which is much more community-based. And not to say that boundaries aren't important, but I think the boundaries are like for yourself and the behaviors that you do, and not about like controlling somebody else. And also that, like, I firmly believe if you have to verbally set a boundary with somebody, it's probably not a boundary. It's either A, not a boundary, or B, not worth saying. If, I don't know. Because like a boundary would be like, I'm trying to think of an example. If you're more than an hour late, I'll head home, right? We met up for coffee. If you're more than an hour late, I'm going to head home. If I tell you that before meeting up for coffee, that's kind of an ultimatum. And that's kind of like chastising you for that, right? Like they're trying to control your behavior, presumably, because I'm telling you. So I don't think it's helpful to tell them that. Because if I'm telling them that as an ultimatum, then that's not a boundary, right? If I'm telling them to try and control them, then that's not a boundary, right? And if I'm just telling them to let them know my boundary, I don't need to let them know my boundary. I just need to set that boundary for myself, right? So yeah, and that's sort of my philosophy, but also because, yeah, it's fine to set boundaries in that sense of like internally setting them, but I think we're a little too obsessed in this day and age of like, I'm going to set a boundary and I'm going to tell you my boundary and I'm going to make you respond in a certain way to my boundary. And I don't think that necessarily works. But AI, because it's like a trying to predict what you want, and it's a general like aggregation of what a lot of people say about friendship. A lot of these people online are young who talk about friendship, right? Because it's social media. You don't get a lot of older people talking about it. You only get one kind of friendship advice. And it's not to say that it's always bad, but to say that like, yeah, sometimes you don't need to cut your friends off. Sometimes you don't need to be so harsh and so black and white. And AI struggles with those complexities and those nuances of those situations. And it just sort of echoes back what you think as well, which is the other issue, which people have plentiful talked about, which is that if I go to AI and I go, oh, my friend's like really annoying me, AI is going to go, yeah, that's really frustrating. Whereas if I go talk to somebody else about it and I go, oh, my friend's really annoying me, they might go, okay, I think you might be being a little bit unfair there, because I think that's just like a neutral behavior your friend does. And like, it's fine to be annoyed about it, but like, I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill essentially, right? Like, I don't think it's that big a deal. And AI is not going to tell you that, right? So I think there's like that criticism too. And I don't know how much those criticisms are coming through here. Maybe that's not the criticisms. We're only kind of half an hour into the game, so maybe it's about 2-hour game, I think. So maybe we'll see more of those coming through, but the criticisms about AI, I know it's still setting things up, but I don't feel like I'm getting any of those kind of nuances about those criticisms, and part of that also might be that that's because this game is made by AI, so the nuances of those criticisms are lost, because AI obviously has a motivation, a bias to defend itself in that way, to get you to keep using it. But also, yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying this game though. I'm finding it very interesting. I don't think it's very good as well, which is something that it's really interesting to think about in relation to art, which is that like, can you get AI to make a video game for you? I mean, yeah, technically. This game is made with, I mean, there still has to be a human prompting it. This game is made with generative AI, but I wouldn't say it's good so far. And I've had that before. I've experimented with like AI chatbots like once or twice, and like you get that with AI chatbots as well, where they like forget what they've I've tapped my microphone, sorry folks, where they like forget what they've previously said, and it just doesn't create a very good narrative. Like part of it is it's really predictable, which is obviously designed to be, but you can see like all the hallmarks of AI. Also because it's an interesting concept, but it doesn't go any further than that. And again, it's only been half an hour, maybe it gets better. But yeah, it's just sort of missing the charm that a project that's human made, which sounds like very anti-AI people when they say that. And they're just like, oh, I just love human art. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't love all human art. You just like certain kinds of art. And AI probably isn't making that kind of art. Like with complexity and nuance, right? But yeah, I don't know. It is kind of comforting to know that like AI can make a game, but I wouldn't say this game is very good. It's interesting, but I wouldn't say it's good. It's not something I want to play. And additionally, it's very, no disrespect to the actual dev, it's very basic, right? It's not very complicated. It's very much reading and pressing buttons, which is fine, but it doesn't have an added layer. And again, I think the purpose of it being satirical is not quite hitting satirical point yet, right? It's not like overly exaggerated in the way that I would want satire to be. And even as a criticism of AI, I feel like it's not really giving criticism yet. Again, maybe we will get there. But yeah, that has been the first episode of Meet Claude. Thank you so much for listening to me yap on about AI. I will, again, talk a little bit more about this and my experiences each episode. But yeah, let me know what you think. I would be so excited to hear people's thoughts, depending on whether you've used AI or not. And one of the things I also find interesting about people who are usually anti-AI is that they've usually not used AI at all. They've like abstained from it from a moral ground, which I can understand logically where you're coming from with that, but also kind of means sometimes their criticisms fall flat, because I can relate to using AI for social situations, which means I can critique AI for social situations a little bit better, right? Because I understand the process, understand why somebody would do that. I think if you're in the camp of anti-AI to the point that you're like, anybody who wants to use AI is a bad person, you know, really extreme, I don't think that's going to strengthen your criticism of AI, right? Anyway, that was my yap. Holy yap. Thanks for watching. Please let me know your thoughts. I'm going to try and release each episode kind of weekly. So yeah, let me know what you think. And this game is free if you would like to have a play of it yourself and try different options. It seems like it's kind of making you go one choice. But yeah, it's good. Thanks for watching.